Yeah. So we're gonna jump right into the YSL trial. It's explosive right now. Little Woody is back on the stand, and he's just a really compromised witness. He's trying to play both sides of the fence. He went home and thought about what he did in that interrogation room, and it's coming back to haunt him. So he's on his stand now. He doesn't, want to act like he's cooperating, but he is. And he's giving up tapes, and he's really not a credible witness. You're going to see the real in the cross examination. Let's go right into it. Yeah, let's go right into it.
About no meeting.
Do you recall the telling Detective Thorpe about this meeting with Mo and that he was supposed to kill you and the Young Thug?
I don't remember what I told Detective Thorpe. I'm saying yes to your question because you saying something I said to Detective Thorpe. So I'm saying yes to everything you saying, but I don't know nothing about where I supposed to told Detective Thorpe. So you trying to I don't know what y'all trying to do. Like,
do you remember telling Detective Thorpe that you called other people to confirm whether or not this meeting occurred?
I don't know what I told Detective Thorpe. I don't remember what I told Detective Thorpe. I told you I thought that once he questioned me, once I came down there, he said, well, it was you came, you free to go. I don't remember sitting down talking to him.
So you don't remember the interview at all? Or what you said during the interview?
Yeah. So what's your objection, sir? I stand the objection.
We can move on, Your Honor.
All right, ma'am.
Did you have any issues with Nut?
With who?
With Nut.
What you mean?
Did you have any problems with Nut?
I wouldn't hope not.
Do you recall, you said you hope not. Do you recall sitting here today if you had any issues with Nut?
I don't know.
Do you remember telling Detective Thorpe that you did not have any issues with Nut? And matter of fact, that you and Nut would see each other and dap each other up?
Yes.
Did you remember telling Detective Thorpe that Nut was somebody that you could talk to?
Don't know nothing about all that.
Okay. Do you remember?
I don't know if yes, I said it to him. I don't know.
Do you remember telling Detective Thorpe about the last conversation that you had with Nut?
I had a conversation with Nut.
Do you remember telling Detective Thorpe about a conversation that you had with Nut?
I don't remember what I told Detective Thorpe.
Do you remember telling Detective Thorpe that when you saw Nut, he just told you to chill out and you told him.
Hold on, Mr. Steele's objection. Hearsay? I sustain it. Oh, are you repeating what? Where's that coming from, man?
Your Honor, it's going to be effective on the listener. It's going to be what his response was.
I overrule the objection.
And that you told Nut, I'm just trying to get some money.
Was I supposed to say it to the police?
You told the police.
Yes, I said it.
That was your last conversation with Nut.
I guess, yes. I don't know.
When you say you don't know, what do you mean?
I don't remember what I told any police. I do not remember what I have told them.
And at this point, do you understand that I'm just trying to figure out what it is that you remember and what did you know?
You lost me.
I sustain the questions to the forum.
Do you recall being concerned that it was a whole gang after you?
Talking to me?
Yes, sir.
You say that again?
Do you recall in 2015 being concerned that there was a whole gang after you?
You said, did I tell that to the police, or you asked me, was I?
I'm asking you, were you concerned that there was a whole gang?
Not even a little bit.
Do you remember telling Detective Thorpe, and now these niggas show up at my girl's mama's house, and it's the whole gang. It's the whole clique. You know what I'm saying? They deep. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that put fear in my heart. Now I have to watch everywhere I go. I have to watch out. It ain't nothing I can do about it. I didn't have nothing to do with this. I didn't kill him. I ain't never kill. I ain't never try to fight him. I ain't never try to rob him. I have never done nothing to none. Do you recall telling the police that?
I guess. I don't remember.
Okay. Now, do you know back in 2015 who was beefing with Nut?
How am I supposed to know that?
Do you recall being asked about that in the January 11th, 2015 interview?
I don't remember no. Well, I don't remember no. I don't remember. I don't know what. I don't know.
So you're saying you don't remember?
Whatever the detective said, I told him. That's what I told him.
I want to go back to the gambling house for a moment. Do you remember at the gambling house whether or not vehicles were shot up at the gambling house?
What gambling house?
The gambling house in Lakewood.
What about it?
Do you remember earlier talking about a shooting at that gambling house?
Was I there?
Do you recall telling detective that you were on this January 11, 2015 interview that you were present at the gambling house when Kel shot up the gambling house?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know.
You don't know if you were there, or you don't know if you told Detective Thorpe?
I don't know. I don't recall nothing about the gambling house.
Do you remember in the January 11, 2015 interview telling Detective Thorpe that he shot everybody's car up, you know what I'm saying? But didn't nobody know it was him, and then he got into it with his girl, and she came back and said it was him.
I guess.
You guess, meaning you don't remember if that's what you told Detective Thorpe?
I don't remember nothing I told the police.
And then, do you recall to tell Detective Thorpe that Thug wanted Kel to pay for his window that got shot up?
Probably so.
Probably, or do you remember telling the...
Do you have an objection?
Your Honor, it's not...
For your objection, sir. No. What's the basis for your objection?
Improper question from a litigant.
I'm gonna
Court, if you don't think yes.
I'm gonna overrule the objection, sir. I'm gonna overrule the objection.
Do you remember if Thug wanted Kel to pay for his window?
Is this what I told the police?
I'm asking you.
I don't know. I don't remember nothing about the gambling house.
Do you remember telling Detective Thorpe that Thug wanted Kel to pay for his window?
I do not remember what I done told the police. I just know.
And do you recall telling Detective Thorpe that Thug said you were going to pay for the window?
I guess.
Does I guess mean you remember telling Detective Thorpe or you don't remember telling Detective
I
Thorpe?
don't have my whole thing with talking to the Detective Thorpe was to get him out my face.
So did you tell things to Detective Thorpe that was a lie to get him out of your face?
I don't know. That's a trick question.
It's whatever honest question that your answer that you want to give.
Well, I told the detective whatever came to my head to try to get up out of there.
And was whatever came to your head the truth about what happened or not the truth about what happened?
I don't remember what I told him. So I can't say if it was a truth or a lie. I don't remember what I said to the investigator, but I know I don't recall a lot of these things that you're saying. I don't remember.
Okay. Was Nut in a gang?
I don't know.
Do you recall telling Detective Thorpe that Nut?
I didn't know Nut personally.
Do you remember telling Detective Thorpe that Nut was the big dog, but they big dog, but it ain't they big dog, but he's not over the whole gang, but he's a big dog.
I guess.
I guess meaning
I don't remember.
all right. Did you and Nut ever talk about Kel and your issues with Kel?
I don't think me and Nut would have been talking.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Thorpe that you and Nut have talked about Kel?
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know what. No, I guess I don't.
So do you remember?
If Thorpe said I said it, I said it.
Do you remember telling Detective Thorpe that?
No, I don't remember. I told you that when Detective Thorpe called me down there and tried to question me, I felt like I walked in and walked right back out. I don't remember sitting down talking to him.
Now, during the course of this interview, do you remember if they came in and swabbed you for gunshot residue?
I don't think so. I think I just remember. I remember he was laughing like, "Dang man, the guy ain't even dead long, and everybody already saying you did it." I'm like, I don't know why, and I thought he let me go. I don't remember if they did. I don't remember anything further than I showed him my face and he let me go. So I don't know what. I don't remember what took place that day. To say facts.
As the interview progressed, do you recall giving more details about the night of the murder to Detective Thorpe?
I don't understand what you asked.
Let me just ask you this. On the night of the murder, do you remember if Deshaun went to the movies on the night of the murder?
So much going on. I can't. So much was going on. I was all over the place. I don't remember. I can't say what. I can't answer those questions because if I tried to, I'd be lying. I wouldn't. I can't really say.
Okay, I understand. Do you remember telling Detective Thorpe that Deshaun had went to the movies and at some point you had given her your brother's car to drive?
I probably did.
Now, earlier I asked you about a Camaro following you inside of your apartment complex the night that Nut was killed. You said, do you remember that occurring?
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling Detective Thorpe that you turned into Carver Homes off of Pryor Road?
I don't know.
And you saw a Camaro and it was flying behind you?
Oh, excuse me.
I don't remember what I told Detective Thorpe again.
And that when you turned left, the Camaro went straight, and instead of going to the front door, you went around to the gate.
I guess.
Do you remember telling him that, or you don't remember?
If he said I said it, I said it.
Do you remember telling him
I
that?
don't remember having a conversation with him. I don't remember what I was telling him when he questioned me.
So the gate card was to Deshaun's apartment, and you were clicking it, and you couldn't go, so you went around front.
I guess.
Do you remember telling him that, or you don't remember telling him that?
I don't remember.
And that you had your brother to call the police. Do you remember telling him that?
Okay.
I had my brother to call the police.
Do you remember telling Detective Thorpe that?
I wouldn't know why my brother would be calling the police, but I don't remember if I said that to him. But if he said I said, I probably did.
Do you remember or do you not remember?
I don't remember.
And so you also, do you remember telling him that you saw the Camaro fly to the stop sign and it was going so fast that it missed it, but they turned and left behind? And when they turned left, I was in front of them. Do you remember telling him about the red Camaro doing that?
If a red Camaro followed me and I noticed it, I wasn't gonna let it. I don't know. I don't remember.
Hey, Ms. Hilton, before we posit more questions, I'm having a good authority. We need to take a comfort break, okay?
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, given it's so close to the lunchtime hour, how about we just have you come back for 1 o'clock, and then we'll see where the afternoon leads us, okay? All right. All rise. All right, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Our jury has left us. Before we go ahead and break for lunch, Mr. Short, you can make your motion, and Mr. Matthews, you can make your motion. And I take it that you are making this on the basis of the witness's testimony as to January the 11th of 2015 in regards to the mentioning of your clients. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Just for the record, it's my objection and my basis for the mistrial is both constitutional Fifth Amendment right to remain silent, which
You're talking about pre-arrest silence?
well, I was going to get to that. There's the constitutional right to remain silent, but also the statutory Georgia
Constitutional privilege? Okay.
well, also the pre-arrest silence,
All right.
statutory. And Your Honor, we believe that those questions brought attention to my client's my client exercising those rights, and it was an inappropriate question, and we moved for a mistrial based on the comment on my client's silence.
All right. Ms. Hilton, do you wish to respond to that, and then I'll move on to Mr. Matthews?
I could, you want to do it individually, Your Honor?
Yeah. Yeah.
As relates to Mr. Stillwell, at the time that I'm questioning
Mr. Copeland?
Mr. Copeland, at the time of January 11, 2015, at that time, Mr. Stillwell was not a suspect in this case, so we're not counting as a silent. Additionally, looking at Dinkins v. State.
Repeat that last thing. Is it Dinkins, you said, v. State?
Dinkins v. State, which is 295 Georgia App 289, which is the 2008 case. A prosecutor does not impermissibly comment on pre-arrest silence merely by showing that the accused demeanor and conduct during and after the crime, but before an agent of the state questions him and before he knows he's being investigated, were inconsistent with a defense such as coercion or justification.
All right.
Well, the jurors don't know when my client became a suspect or not. So,
Right.
I mean, the effect on the jurors, I don't really see how that's relevant.
And
Okay,
cannot further, again, Your Honor, the state's position is we weren't commenting on any of the defendant's sides, but again, to show that Mr. Copeland's demeanor now in court before these individuals versus when he was by himself in a interview room solely with the detective, that his answers are much different. And so that is the state's purpose and reason for talking about who was present with him in the room when he was conducting his initial interviews in 2015.
And Your Honor, just to respond to that argument, what undermines that argument is my client wasn't present yesterday when Mr. Copeland made it clear to the
What do you mean
prosecutor.
he was in the courtroom here, right?
But no, he wasn't present yesterday in some side room somewhere where several investigators from the DA's office and multiple prosecutors were all in a room talking to Mr. Copeland while he was a sworn witness in this case. And he let the state know that what I said in prior statements were lies. And,
Okay, and
this is the
you were
truth.
disclosed those particular
I
statements.
was disclosed those
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay,
last
all right.
night.
Okay.
But
And before he testified this morning, correct?
yeah, last night.
Okay. All right.
And so, but the argument that, oh, he's changing the story because he's in front of Mr. Stillwell. Not only is there no evidence that Mr. Stillwell has ever threatened Mr. Copeland or Mr. Copeland is scared of Mr. Stillwell, but or any of these other gentlemen, but also the fact that it was disclosed yesterday to the state with none of these gentlemen present undermines their argument that that's the reason for asking that question.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, I'm still going to deny your motion for mistrial, and I'll note that you asked, as I said before, that you posited before the next question was asked. Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Matthews, Senior.
As it relates to Ms. Huey, our motion for mistrial is based upon the sworn testimony that has already come out from Mr. Copeland on yesterday. Mr. Copeland stated that he had met Mr. Huey in 2021. He had indicated that he had met him in 2015, didn't know him in 2015 or anything of that nature. So it's a bad question that was asked in terms of whether or not Quay was there back in 2015. So that's the first point. He did not know Mr. Huey in 2015. Secondly, Your Honor, that places it's a bad faith question. It places Mr. Huey's character in issue, and there's no basis. There's just no basis for that question to be asked. And because of those reasons, Your Honor, we were respectfully asked this court to grant a mistrial as it relates to Mr. Huey based upon those natures. There's just no good basis for that question to be asked. When the witness had testified on yesterday, not to be repetitive, but he testified yesterday, he didn't know my guy in 2015. So how could he have been there in 2015, or did he show up there at the interview with Detective Thorpe in January of 2015?
All right, thank you, sir. All right, Ms. Hilton.
Your Honor, the question was a good faith basis. If you can recall, yesterday the state asked Mr. Copeland if he knew a number of these defendants. And so what the state did in order to perfect what occurred is asked about every single defendant that Mr. Copeland said he viewed in this courtroom, regardless of time, so that the jurors knew that none of these individuals were present with him at the time. Now, if Mr. Matthews wants to argue at closing argument that was the state shouldn't have asked that because Mr. Huey, he didn't know him, then that's a question for argument, but not a question for a mistrial, Your Honor.
Matthews, and I'll also note on your behalf and your client's behalf, Mr. Huey, that you had paused the next question before, made another motion before we paused the next question.
And one more thing just to add to the record, Your Honor. And while I knew that the answer was no, the jury did not. And so we had to pose that question. And there's the one additional thing I want to put on the record after the close of this hearing, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else in regards to mistrial? All right. Ms. Hilton, what else?
Your Honor, as Mr. Shard just disclosed, the state turned over yesterday an email to all defense counsel regarding our interaction with Mr. Copeland on yesterday in the afternoon. I know Mr. with him in a room without any of the defendants present. The statement from Mr. Copeland was a sua sponte question to us or response to us as we were talking in the room yesterday, and that is why we immediately disclosed that information to defense counsel. But in addition to what we disclosed yesterday, Your Honor, the state also disclosed on Thursday, June 6th, as well as on Monday, June 10th, some additional information that Mr. Copeland has disclosed to us over the last few days. And so we have a copy of that email. We want to put it in the record, Your Honor. And we're going to mark it 400 Yankee.
All right. Okay. All right, councils, enjoy your, sorry.
I would like the court to look into the appropriateness. Mr. Copeland, to my observations around your courtroom, outside your courtroom on breaks, is surrounded by several members of law enforcement, the district attorney's office, and prosecutors, potentially other persons. I don't know why a sitting witness under oath is in a room with prosecutors during breaks, mornings, afternoons. It's totally inappropriate. There are people who are in your court's door. There's a double door where the court sits to its right that aligns with the witness chair. And I noticed people standing there in law enforcement while Mr. Copeland is testifying. He's making eye contact with them. I don't know if they're his brother. My point to you is this: what gives anybody the right to surround a witness? He's not in custody, and bring a witness. I'm sure Mr. Copeland didn't say to the prosecutors, I don't know this, Your Honor, so if you think I'm wrong, then just strike it from your memory. But I'm sure he didn't say, hey, you guys want to hang out in this room a little while? So I believe that he is being led on a tether by the prosecutors, and it is coercion. It is inappropriate. And why would anybody not be recording everything he said? And why do I have to get it in drips and drabs? So I am objecting to the tactics of the Fulton County District Attorney's Office and whomever else they may have employed with a citizen, regardless of what the court may think of him or the prosecutors think.
I don't have any thoughts. So please don't put that in. Please don't put that in in the ether. Okay, but that's what you just said, sir.
The ether is
okay.
Clear. The court wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it either. So why is it happening? He's a.
So I have no interest other than I'm a referee.
Well, you're the referee who spoke with the witness without my presence.
Mr. Steele, we're not gonna get into that right now.
Well,
okay?
my point is, how is he being treated? And why don't I have all this? And why is this going on? What an unfair trial, William. Think about it. If you were accused, and the judge met with this witness, with the prosecutor, and you sat next to me and Mr. Adams, you would say to us, what kind of case is this? Now he's being surrounded with all this law enforcement. My point is,
Your Honor, we're going to object that this.
I'm not going to be interrupted.
Mr. Steele, hold on. No, but you're Mr. Steele. Mr. Steele.
Yes, sir. What?
Okay.
I want to finish. I'm making a record for the court to understand.
Well, Mr. Steele.
I've never been interrupted in a court except for this one. You allow.
Well, you know, but the challenge is in this point in time is that some of the things that you have said at certain points in time are not appropriate.
It's not true.
Okay, well that's the court's. The court is wrong. Well, you know, you have, everybody has an opinion, and it can certainly be reviewed at the appropriate time. But finish up so you can go ahead and make your record.
Or anyway, this is a record. This is important.
Okay, but it's your allegation and assertion, sir. Okay, so, well, we don't know that. We don't know whether or not they're true.
Going on. Every time Mr. Copeland comes in the courtroom or out of court, he's escorted by a DA's office investigator. You see that? This court is observant. You're not just sitting there in a cloud. You see exactly what's going on. You hear the prosecutor tell you, we were in a room with Mr. Copeland and he said these things. Why?
Okay.
Why do I have to bring up? You should be bringing up. This is crazy. This is like communist Russia. Mr. Williams is having the worst trial. So I'm moving again to stop intimidating the witness by the prosecution, leave people alone, and stop accusing. You've allowed the prosecutor Love to accuse me of misconduct.
Oh, but you've also accused her of hold on. You have accused her of misconduct as well. And remember what I told you about your professional responsibility. Remember what I told you about your. And she's going to take me down as opposed to you. So when I start talking, stop talking, please. Okay? I'll let you complete your record. Okay?
I understand the one already talking. I got it.
All right. Okay. All right. So I told you, several times before, I told you and your colleagues, remember your professional responsibility. And let's not make this an ad hominem issue. I don't believe that either one of you are trying to do anything that would subvert your ability to practice law. So, but.
Love has intentionally lied to the court numerous cases.
Hold on. Let him finish. See, this is Mr. Steele. This is exactly what I'm saying. You cannot. It is not a good idea to state that your brethren across the bar are lying. Okay, in any time or any way.
I don't like doing it.
Okay, but don't. So don't. But don't because you don't because you don't have any proof. If you have proof of it, then if you have proof, there's a mechanism in law and under the rules for you to submit that question to the Office of General Counsel and for an investigation to occur. But please stop, both of you. I told both of you earlier, stop making these ad hominem attacks toward one another. Okay?
When it gets attacked, you say nothing.
Well, okay, but I've said something. You're going back to stuff that's happened in the past. So while I'm trying to deal with things that are current, so I told you all most recently, as of about a week or so ago, to stop all this. Remember I told you the world's watching you? They are. So please don't from this point on, do not accuse each other of anything. If you want to go ahead and do it, there's a proper way to do it, but don't bring it up in front of me. Okay?
I'm just making a point that this has been going on and it's abusive. That is my point.
That's your assertion, sir, as a lawyer, okay? And maybe your frustration with everything. Like I told you, this trial's gone on a long time. There's a lot of wear and tear, but everybody's got to rise above and be a professional advocate. That's what this demands.
Yes.
I am here to tell the court objective, what's going on here.
Yeah. You gotta see.
Okay. At the end of the day, I understand your concern that you have now shared with the court. Okay. All right. State, do you want to respond?
Your Honor, I just ask that the court strike the portions of Mr. Steele's
I know how
whatever that was to the court regarding personal and ad hominem attacks on members of the state's team. Ms. Hilton will address the merits of the initial argument that Mr. Steele made, but as to personal attacks on members of the state's team, we'd ask that assertions that specific people have lied. That is disrespectful. That is unprofessional. Not one time has any such statement been made by
still haven't
any member of this team about anyone else. In
Oh, I think, Ms. Love, in the past, you've made some
I
statements.
have never
about
said
me.
anyone lied.
Yeah, you made some statements about Mr. Steele. And
Got
about,
it.
so
Maybe
just
I will
let me finish. I'm not done.
or something. I'm gonna
All
find
right, and about several others of your colleagues. I mean, and it may have been the heat of discussion and everything else.
on Zell, right?
Like
On
I
Zell,
said
right?
earlier,
Yeah,
there's enough blame to go around for everybody. All right,
Your
so
wife sent
but can we
me
kind of
some-
stop that and draw things kind of forward? I've had 2 or 3 conversations with everyone about their obligations as professional advocates under the rules. Okay, and that while the court certainly agrees that ad hominem attacks are not, they don't make anybody look any good. They really don't. I mean, so, but I'm just saying I acknowledge that. I acknowledge what's been gone on in the past. So, and I ask that you all reflect upon that because, you know, like I said, you can't say some of the stuff that people say to one another can't be taken back. They just can't. So,
my friend was telling
and
me to go underneath.
that's just something that the court would just have to.
I don't know where
Thank you,
that
Judge.
is.
Okay.
And we just ask again that statements like Miss Love lied be stricken from the record. Those are personal attacks. There's none been made, at least not this day.
I'm not gonna consider your ad hominem attacks either one of these.
Thank you.
Or anybody's. All right. Okay. All right. Now,
I will call you soon.
Your Honor, regarding Mr. Steele's assertions
Yeah, I
of
lost
our
my tongue.
interactions with
Call
Mr.
me
Copeland,
Nathan.
we have not treated Mr. Copeland any different than we would treat any of our other witnesses in the state of Georgia. He is our witness. If he wants to be around us, he can. If he chooses not to, he doesn't have to. The fact that he's saying we are coercing Mr. Copeland to speak is clearly not true, given Mr. Copeland's testimony here today. If we were coercing him to speak, he would answer my question and I would not have to sit here and go in and back and forth and struggle with him. So clearly we are not being influential on Mr. Copeland, given our interactions with him outside of the courtroom. So again, Your Honor, there's nothing inappropriate about the state's interactions with Mr. Copeland. He is the state's witness. We can't interact. We have not influenced any of his testimony, Your Honor. And so we ask that, I don't know if it was a motion, be denied if that was what was being asked. Okay?
all right. I'll include the state's 400. The state
I need you to show me.
most recent email
Isn't
that
it
you have
to
disclosed to the defense in this case.
Yeah, you showed me
For purposes of the record.
Is that for?
And I will also, to the extent that I don't think of Mr. Steele. Let me just make sure. Are you again moving for mistrial, or did you make them within your statement? Did you ask the court for a mistrial? Okay, I'm going to deny that motion, and I will also note for the record that it was.
So do you have to jack the car up?
Same was positive for the next question. Okay. All right, Mr. Matthews, you're eating up your lunch. Okay, so.
Oh, you have to jack it up. Okay. So when you jack it up, I will see it, right? The lever.
Yeah, so you go under and make sure that jack is safety because you went under there.
Yeah. The car was like, it was trying to start, right? It was trying to start. It couldn't turn over.
Well, I don't know how you flag the tires.
Because they're customized.
I know it's a large individual too. There's plenty of large individuals. They're law enforcement, or we don't know. But
When we pull up.
Well, who is it? What's their name? Okay, well then we don't know it's law enforcement. But I have the same or better advantage. I have the same or better advantage than you do, and I certainly think that for reasons that we don't know that that law enforcement stand in that door for security posture, and that's the only reason that they're at that door.
And it was a
Okay, well, when this is reviewed, and the court's going to look at what the court saw as well. So if you're thinking that there's intimidation or otherwise, I'm telling you, and I'm putting on the record for purposes of the record, that there are many law enforcement that sit in both doors of this courtroom for that reason and that reason only. And unless you can tell me who specifically was standing out there, as you say, and Ms. Shields said, looking at our witness, Mr. Copeland, then I don't see that. Okay? Thank you, sir. All right.
Yeah, customers, they're very, they very.
I saw the same thing that Mr. Matthews saw yesterday, a large individual.
How did you see him? Your back's to the door.
They already don't want you to do it.
I'm asking how you saw
You
it.
really have to convince
Okay.
you that you know what you're doing. So you start
Seen people outside that door for 18 months, Your Honor. This person yesterday was glaring through that glass for at least 10 to 15 minutes that I noticed, boring a hole into the witness. So I just want to add that is what I saw. I don't know his name. I don't know if it was law enforcement. I believe it was. I've not seen any other individual with law enforcement do that to that witness or any other witness during the course of the trial.
Okay. Thank you.
Your Honor, this, just so that the record is clear, could they give more detail? Because there's no member of the state that fits this.
Yeah, I don't need. He was a gentleman yesterday dressed in black or dark clothing. That's what I saw.
Also, yes, Your Honor, and I don't know. We don't know one who they're talking about, what they're talking about. Literally, no idea. So the idea, this insertion into the record of the insinuation that someone is intimidating anyone.
I'll also ask Captain Kendall to ensure that only law enforcement are allowed back there in the vestibule, so that that if there's any issue with anybody looking in the courtroom, that is removed. So, all right.
Thank you.
All right.
and then you start. You gotta get it clean. They let you go now. Next week, also.
I don't know what this is.
Daniel, what is
the court and give instruction in regards to whether folks can just take notice of it. We've had some discussions before about the configuration of the courtroom. There's a lot of folks in here. We've got jurors who are sitting right there on the front row who are closer than they would normally be to the parties in this case. I've noticed over the course of the last number of weeks and months, quite frankly, and I'd like the court to either remind the state or maybe because it could be inadvertent, but maybe they can take note themselves of the fact that sometimes their facial expressions, their reactions, their statements to each other, their conversations to each other are done so close in the presence of the jury that it can't help but impact the jury. There was one time last week where Ms. Hilton was attempting to introduce a document and there was some frustration because there's an objection, and Ms. Love reaches over and says, and I could hear it from over there, just show them the original. Just show them the original. And those type of conversations and when someone's upset with a ruling and roll their eyes or makes a facial expression or throws up their hands in front of the jury 2 or 3 feet away from the jury can't help but impact the jury. And so if the court needs to just remind the parties that we've got a jury that can be impacted and they need to be a little bit more circumspect, they can do that. Or perhaps my colleagues across the aisle can take note of that themselves and act accordingly.
All right, sir. Yeah, there's not a lot of room, and I wish you'd have brought this up earlier, but I certainly agree with that. I'd advise all counsel to just be mindful of their reactions as the jurors watch everything, okay? All right. Mr. Short, you have anything else? I know that. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Enjoy your lunch. We'll see y'all back about 1 o'clock. Okay. All right. We're in recess.
You dragged it. There was no customer there, or you was picking up maybe a junk car. What you picking up? Okay, that's Jose. We're talking about that's like apples and oranges. You picking up a junk car. We talking about a luxury. This car was shiny black. It was brand new. The guy was there up by the Tesla place. And money. They're dying to get a guy like me to get an insurance claim, and I can't take that risk. So with I can't take that risk. So if I can't get it into neutral, or the customer is not there watching me so close, then I don't do it. I don't do it. I don't take the risk. I call you. That's what I call you to take it. When you get those claims in the mail and your wife start yelling, why did you pull that car when you know that's so that's the problem that I have. And so I just want to learn that process really good. I need to learn it good. To go underneath the car or go underneath the hood, depending if it's rear wheel drive or front wheel, right? Is that what it is? Yeah. And insurance companies, they don't know I have insurance. They do not know. They will never let me pick up a car. They found out one time and they told me, Danny, this was last year. They told me, if we see you pick up a BMW with that trailer, we're going to sue your ass. That's what he told me, because I got 3 claims, right? In about 2 weeks on my insurance, and the guy leaned in close. So he yelled at me. He said, why would you keep trying to pull these luxury cars on that trip? So he said, if you pick it up again, we're going to turn off your insurance. You will not. You have to prove to us you have a flatbed tow, real truck. That's not considered a real truck. We know it's a real truck. We know, but they don't. Yeah. Yeah. Because that's the thing. You can't get the big jobs without the insurance. You can run around the town and get $100 fee. You can't get a $2,000 job for towing, if you don't have insurance. You can't really. Yeah, you can't play the game. You can't play the game to stay home and make money and enjoy the summer with your wife. No, we just running around, trying to survive.
Cocksucker motherfucker, rich motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah, it is. That yeah, you have to do the best you can. You can't you can't try to go too high. You have to just do what you can. Uh, I will, I will, I will, I will, I will. Thank you, Jose. Okay, okay.
Hello? Yes. I never went. I'm gonna take Joseph and go with him to the shop. Okay, mommy, I'll see you soon. You want me to bring a bottle? I did. I left it in the fridge. Okay, man. Bye. All right, so there's specialized. Oh man, let me tell you.
Deputy Ham, can we summon Mr. Copeland, please? All right, summon our jurors, please, sir.
All rise for the jury.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Sir, all jurors present? Okay, thank you. All right. Ms. Hilton, we're going to continue with your examination, please.
Good afternoon, Ms. Copeland. All right. So when we left off, we were talking about your January 11th interview. Do you remember during your January 11th interview speaking with Detective Thorpe regarding several individuals that you texted about you and Kel, about your relation, about the fights that you were having with you and Kel?
You say it again?
Sure. Do you recall during your interview telling Detective Thorpe about text messages that you sent, and I apologize, excuse me, about text messages that you sent regarding this thought that Mo was trying to kill you and Thug?
Yeah.
All right. Do you remember the substance of what those texts were?
No.
Do you remember telling Detective Thorpe that you texted ones telling them, bro, it ain't no beef. I ain't stunting y'all niggas?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, you said did I text it?
Yes.
I do not remember nothing I said to Detective Thorpe.
So is your answer that you don't remember telling him about this text?
I don't remember Nothing I said to him about any. I really don't.
Okay. And that you also texted that there's a guy down the road, Mo, he's supposed to kill me and Thug, so that you had 10 minutes on your phone, and that you texted someone and asked, y'all going to kill me and Thug? And you put a laughing, like, ha 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 emoji.
Basis. Okay, so foundation. Okay, foundation. I'll stand as the foundation. Once you live on the
Do you recall sending these text messages back in January of 2015?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Thorpe about these text messages?
I don't recall nothing I said to Detective Thorpe.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Thorpe that you received a response back from that text message?
I don't recall any conversation with Detective Thorpe.
I understand you can slow it down, but I'm gonna keep asking you these questions. So, do you recall texting or telling Detective Thorpe that so another guy called you and said that those people were just lying?
I don't recall.
All right. And do you recall telling Detective Thorpe that they didn't believe you when you told them that there's really no more beef between you and Kel?
I don't recall.
All right. And do you recall to telling Detective Thorpe that you asked them or you told them that it's not about you, you want to know what they had against you and what have you done to them? You never took any of their girlfriend. You never did nothing to him, and you were referencing Kel.
That what I said? I don't recall.
Okay. And do you recall telling Detective Thorpe that you asked, why does he hate me?
Why? Who hate me?
Why does Kel hate you?
I don't recall.
Okay.
Can you explain to me what I don't recall mean? Don't it mean I don't remember, right?
Do you remember any of this?
No. I'm just trying to make sure I'm saying the right thing. I don't remember this stuff.
On the night that Donovan Thomas drove, earlier you said that you kind of drove around. Do you remember saying that earlier today?
I said it?
Yes.
What you mean? I drove around.
The night that Donovan Thomas got murdered, after you learned that people thought it was you, you were just kind of driving around. Do you remember that?
I said I blinked out.
Okay. Do you remember driving around at all?
I remember being at a lot of different places.
Okay. Do you remember any of the places that you went to?
I remember people staring at me like they. I just remember how people were staring at me.
Okay. Do you remember in the same January 11th, 2015 interview, the time Detective Thorpe, that first you went towards Hateville, then you got off the expressway right by the Chick-fil-A?
I don't recall what I told Detective Thorpe.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Thorpe that you went over to Thug's house to see what was going on?
I stand the objection.
Do you remember going to Thug's house that day?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you recall telling Detective Thug that you went down to Thug's house to see what was going on?
I don't recall.
Do you recall if you talked to Thug that evening after you learned that people thought that you killed Nut?
Can you ask me that again?
Sure. Do you recall speaking to Thug on the night that Nut was killed?
Nah, I don't.
Okay. Do you remember telling Detective Thorpe that you spoke to Thug while at his home?
Can you say it again?
Sure. Do you remember telling Detective Thorpe that you spoke with Thug while at his house?
I don't recall.
Do you recall telling Detective Thorpe that you told that them folks then came and shot Deshaun's mama house?
I don't recall.
Okay. And do you recall telling Detective Thorpe that his answer was, for real?
That's it?
Yep.
I don't recall.
Okay. And do you recall you telling Thug what I'm supposed to do, bro?
I don't recall.
Okay. And do you recall you telling Detective Thorpe that he said, man, just stay out of the way and let 12 handle that?
I don't recall.
And that's all he kept saying, 12 going to deal with it.
I don't. This what I supposed to say, Thorpe?
Do you recall saying
I'm saying this conversation with Thorpe?
Yes.
I don't recall.
Okay. And then do you recall saying to Thug, like, man, bro, you just saying stay out of the way and deal with that, bro. But these folks, and you also said that Thug know them better than you do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Do you recall telling that to Detective Thorpe?
No, you gotta say it to me again.
Sure. Do you recall telling Detective Thorpe that you said, like, man, bro, you talking about just stay out the way and let the police handle it and deal with that, bro? Man, fuck that. He knows them better than I do.
This supposed to be what I supposed. This me talking?
Yes.
No, I don't recall that.
Now, earlier I asked if you remember that if Deshaun went to the movies. Did you tell me that you do not recall if Deshaun went to the movies that night?
I never even heard of whoever you mentioned it.
Deshaun, your girlfriend at the time.
I never dated no girl named that.
You never dated a girl named Deshaun?
Never dated a girl named Deshaun.
Desha?
My baby mom name is Deshaun.
Okay, so it's Deshaun, not Deshaun.
I think that's what I just said.
Okay. Do you recall if Deshaun went to the movies? I don't know. I don't know if she went. I can't remember if she made it out. Time, everything was going so fast. I can't remember if she went to the movies or not. Do you recall in that same January 11th interview telling Detective Thorpe that Deshaun went to the movies and that you gave her the car so she can go to the movies?
I don't recall.
And that it was about 9 o'clock.
I don't recall.
Do you remember picking Deshaun up and her friends up from Greenbrier Mall?
I do.
What do you remember about that?
I had found out they shot her mama house up. And she called me, told me that her mama house been shot up. And I was pissed off. So I asked her to park the car and I was coming to get her.
Why did you want her to park the car at Greenbrier Mall?
Because if anybody would do anything to that car while she was in there, well, nobody gonna get no rest.
And that's fair. Is there a police precinct at...
I'll stand there. I'll stand the question.
Is there a police precinct at Greenbrier Mall?
I don't know.
Did you want her to park at Greenbrier Mall because of...
Oh, yeah, it is.
And did you want her to park at Greenbrier Mall because of the police station being there?
No, it's an area that I don't know if it was me who told her or she came up with it. I just told her to park, get out the car. I was coming to get her.
When you went to go get her, who were you with?
If I'm not mistaken, I think I was probably with I was with different people that night.
Do you recall telling Detective Thorpe, that you were with Moonsung, his girl, and his baby?
I don't recall what I told Detective Thorpe.
Do you recall being taken over to Greenbrier with Moonsung, his girl, and his baby?
I know I was with Moonton at a certain time that night. I can't remember if it was. I can't say for facts if it was me and him who went to get her, but I know I went and got her.
Now, Mr. Copeland, after January 11th, 2015, and in the weeks after Mr. Thomas was killed, did you stay in the Atlanta area?
Can you say that again?
Sure. Did you stay in Atlanta?
Still do.
Okay. Did you ever go anywhere after Mr. Thomas was killed?
I went right back to Carver home.
Did you ever go to Miami?
Yes.
Who did you go to Miami with?
My baby mama and my daughter.
And did anyone pay for your trip to Miami?
We drove.
Where did you stay when you got to Miami?
I think a hotel.
Did you pay for that hotel?
No.
Who paid for the hotel?
I don't get what you asked. You said who paid for the hotel?
Yes, you said you did not pay for it.
Yeah, I didn't pay for it.
So who paid for it?
I guess Young Thug. Yeah, I don't know. I can't say who paid for it.
Did Young Thug offer to pay for the hotel in Miami for you?
No.
So why are you assuming that Young Thug paid for it?
Because that's what I saw when I went to Miami.
So did you go visit Young Thug in Miami?
No. Everybody was screaming my name. A lot of stuff was going on. The homicide detective Thorpe, it was after me. And you know what I mean, my probation officer, I remember talking to her about it because I had to go see her after I left from being questioned from that. And then I was told I need to lay low. And I asked for permission to leave, and she gave me permission to leave.
Okay. So my question is, how did you determine that Young Thug paid for your hotel?
Because I asked him, could he help me? You know what I mean? Because everybody's saying my name. And he just like, I get back with you. And I don't know, you asked me to be honest, I can't say if he paid for something if I didn't see him pay for it or didn't. If he paid for it, I would say he did if I know he did it.
Okay. How long did you spend in Miami?
I don't know. I can't say how long.
Was there anyone else in Miami besides you, your daughter, and Deshaun?
Yes, a lot of people in Miami.
People that you know?
Yes.
Who?
His family.
Whose family?
Young Thug.
Who in his family was in Miami with you?
I don't know his family.
Who's the family that you remember?
His sisters.
Which one?
Dolly.
Okay. Who else?
I don't know the rest of their name.
All right. What other family members was in Miami?
His sisters.
So was that it? Just Young Thug and his sisters?
Well, I don't know. I don't know who his people is like that. I just know Dolly, and I heard her say this my sister.
Okay. Outside of Dolly and Thug, was there anyone else that you know in Miami when you were down there?
What you mean? Be more specific.
Sure. Besides Dolly and Thug, was there anybody else from Atlanta that you know in Miami while you were there?
I don't know how to answer that. Like, I don't know what to say.
What don't you know how to answer?
You asked me who down there. I just said it.
Was there anybody else besides Dolly and Thug down there?
There's a lot of people down there, but I can't say. I don't remember who I was down there. If that's better answer.
Was Shannon in Miami?
I think it was.
You said they. I asked about Shannon. Was Shannon in Miami?
Yeah, but now that you said that, I think all them was down there too. Shannon and them. Shannon Liddy.
Okay. Little D from Cleveland or Little D your son?
He's not my son.
I know he's not your son, but that's what you said.
You say he's like my son.
Which Little D are we talking about?
The one that's like my son.
Okay. Was Little D from Cleveland down there too?
I can't remember if he was or wasn't.
Was Yet down there?
Yeah, I think so. I believe so.
Was Montauk down there?
I don't think so. I can't remember if he was down there. I don't remember. I can't remember if Montauk was down there.
Okay. Was someone named Doo-Wop down there?
Who?
Doo-Wop.
How? I don't know who that is.
Was OG Bentley down there?
Who?
OG Bentley.
I can't recall.
Do you remember how long were you in Miami?
I think I just told you I don't know. I don't remember. It was more than a day, if that's what you asked.
Do you remember if you had the interview on January 11th, what day or how many days passed? Please start that. Do you remember if the interview was on January 11th? How soon after that interview did you leave? How soon after that interview did you leave to go to Miami?
I know I had to report my probation, so I don't know if it was a couple days later. I don't know.
When you came back from Miami, let me ask you, did you eventually come back to Atlanta from Miami?
I most definitely did.
Okay. When you came back from Miami, did anything occur on I-75/85? Did you get shot at while driving a vehicle on the highway?